This is West Yorkshire, UK, a green space between towns. There's a river down there in the bottom of a valley which I have explored parts of before, a road behind me and the outer suburbs of a town coming up. It's an unusual place to find a dump site, but prevalent the town where the rubbish originated. But if my information is correct, hidden in those woods up ahead, there is a site that legions of bottle diggers have dug, and today I'm aiming to explore and see what I can find. And here we go. Quite a well-worn path. A lot of litter seems to have found its way in here, but is it the dump site I seek? The trees look to be fairly young, not more than 70 years old and probably a lot younger, depending on the growing conditions. The broken carcass of a Victorian foot warmer and an old wine bottle. I guess I'm in the right place. Lots of broken things peeking out at me. Interesting, not quite the cod bottle shape I'm used to. It's squarer at the top, and a bit too broken for me to take. So many mounds, are they all spoil piles from bottle digging adventures? York's Bottlers Association, quite a nice bottle even if the top is broken. Unsurprisingly perhaps, but disappointingly, it seems this dump, like so many others, is built right next to the river. Compo, a character from Last of A.S.M Wine, once the UK's longest running TV show set quite close to here. I was too young to really enjoy it. Oh, broken. This kinda looks like an exploratory trench. I guess they found a rich pocket. That's a huge hole. I hope it was worth the dig. Such a lot of effort went into it. Or maybe it was carved out by this little stream, which could be much more powerful when it's raining. I was half expecting a little beach to have built up. Maybe there is, just currently underwater. First thing I'm taking, a bit of copper or brass. Not much of it, but it's a start. Teacup, not hugely old, not particularly nice. Cod bottle. Blakely & Co., Otley Street, Keighley. One day I'll find a complete and unbroken cod bottle. Evidence that this dump was probably routinely set on fire to make space for more things to be dumped. Looks like a fresh clump of the hillside. Little paste pot. Potentially something cool hidden inside, but I've forgotten my gloves. An old brick cistern, probably to control the outflow of whatever this is. Looks clean, doesn't smell. Not going to drink it though. A marmalade pot. Nice to see something intact. Too plain to be interesting, but I might take it anyway. I'm standing where the cistern was originally built, and probably a leak in this pipe has undermined it and liquefied the ground beneath it, meaning it slid down the hillside about 3 feet. Oh my. I walked this way over the roof of their nest. Must have disturbed them. I'll try not to do so again on my way out. No stings, gentle little things. Carpenter bees, I think. Oh, but of course, HP sauce. Doll's House dinner service looks like the top of a vegetable tureen, missing its handle, unfortunately. Something with words on it. Looks like part of a flagon. Hollows and Fen, Fentimans, ginger beer makers, and 1908, that's the first thing I've found that I can accurately date, though the dump itself does seem to have been still in use much later than that. Nope. So many pits dug here. I wonder if anyone's dug under any of the spoil piles. Twice the digging to do, so maybe not. There might be great bottles still in the ground. Looked intact from a distance, but it's cleanly broken, missing its bottom. Wow, so little ground left untouched. I guess it was a very good site back in the day. Probably nearly played out now, though. An intact bottle with a wonky, semi-melted neck, and that, I think, is the only interesting thing about it. I might take it. I like wonky things. Apologies for the noise. Somebody is using a power tool close by. Sounds like a stone cutter to me. First little bottle of the day, with a little mossy ecosystem inside. Do I take it or leave it? It doesn't look all that healthy, to be honest. I'll take it and give it a little water at home and keep it alive if I can. A spout of something. Doesn't look like a kettle or teapot spout. Any ideas? Ooh, I see verdigris. Well, that's the rose from a watering can, probably brass, but this is what caught my eye. Interesting. Oh, I know. It's a toast rack. Nah. Is it intact? Yeah, looks to be. Harleen hair. Don't have any hair tonic bottles yet, so I'll take it. Nice little snap top bottle. Common as anything, but lovely colour. Beer bottle maybe? Not for me. Looks like they built it right up to the river's edge. Idiotic. Looks to be some little beaches down there, perhaps worth a look. Not much actually in the water, that's surprising. Some wire. I think it's copper, but it's been through fire and melted somewhat with the ash. I shall take it, and I shall melt it. fawns cannot stop me. Oh, that confounded power tool, disturbing what passes for peace around here. Ooh, glass bottle stopper. Always a pleasure finding one of these little survivors. Another little snap-top bottle. Looks like a nice deep aqua colour. One day I shall find an unbroken one of these. They're not rare, can be bought for less than £20, but the experience of finding is the treasure, not the thing that is found. It's starting to look like newer things, broken chunks of tarmac and concrete, probably heading to the younger end of the dump now. Not much evidence that this hole had any success. Not much broken glass or pottery, no unwanted bottles left behind. First, clay pipe bowl. No sign of any pieces until now. Little dish from a doll's tea set. This pipe heads over to a sewage works across the river. Actually, that might be a bit further up. I don't know. So is it still reasonable to suppose it's a sewage pipe? It sounds too noisy to be gas. Starting to look almost exclusively like road and building rubble now. Perhaps it's bomb damage clear-up from World War II. Ooh, a bottle digger's collection point. Probably ones they didn't want, but maybe I will. That's quite an unusual shape. I might take it. And this green glass ointment jar. Screw top, no embossing, no. Maybe. Brill cream jar, got one already. Right, which way were we going? Ah yes, this way. Looks like the dump's about to give way to a field. Probably doesn't look much to the camera, but these trees are old and big. Much older than the dump around them. I can't actually tell what they are. The younger tree leaves are in the way. I think they might be lime. Anyone able to tell me any different? Should I? Shouldn't I? Of course I shouldn't, but I do at least want to see if there's an option to walk across that bridge. Apologies if the camera work is lacking. I do have both chest and head mountings for it, but I generally find it much easier to point and shoot well if it's just mounted on a handheld tripod. Sorry about that. Well, it does look like it's lacking a lot of the floorboards. I think it's still probably safe if I keep a hand on some ironwork at all times, but another day perhaps. I'm not at peak agility today. Just spotted some brass. I think it's the top of a fence post. Quite ornamental. And an indistinct mass with an added woodlouse. Sorry, little woodlouse, I didn't know it was your home. Tape measures, 2 of them. A third tape measure. Probably all dumped at the same time. It's hard to believe that similar things clump together in dumps like they do in water. Some wire. I'm going to need to put the camera down to get it all. That's a cute looking jar. Quite good condition. I haven't seen one like this before. Anyone recognize it from your past? Looks quite modern. They all do here. Ooh, that one though. I like this style. I'll take it. There's always some milk glass, Pond's cream jar, too damaged to take. Plastic. I've picked it up, I'll take it. Not this thing though. That would have been nice, vine embossing all over it. Schweppes. Not a very interesting example, but I still like to find vulcanized rubber bottle stoppers. I think this marks the end of a dump site, a field beyond and then some more woods and then a town. Couldn't leave without visiting the water's edge. I'd rather be by the river than the road, though the roadside is next. Oh, that looks like it is. An intact ridged pot. Probably marmalade like the one I found earlier, but the ridged ones don't survive as well. I'll think about taking it. A little snap-top bottle, and it looks like it's got great colour. That looks unusual. Some sort of a storage jar maybe? Like a Kilner, but Reese. R-E-S-E. I'll probably take it. This too. And this. I do like intact and still recognisable melted things. A painter clean, but quite aesthetically pleasing. Another Schweppes, with a dancing gazelle perhaps, and a lion? Cod bottle. Still haven't found the tile cutter to trim these down, so I'll leave it. It's not a hugely pretty one. If only this had been intact. Plain, but with a wonky neck, so I like it. Oh dear, car alarm time is definitely time to call time. Doesn't look like there's anything worth climbing down there for. Time to go. And time for a roundup. I enjoyed exploring a well-dug dump site for a change and was surprised by how many things I found that I wanted to take. I guess bottle diggers don't see the value in brass like this. Part of a Victorian bed warmer, I think, and the patina is marvellous. I'm going to flatten it out and post it to an artist friend who works with metals. I'll probably melt down the watering can rose. It's not a big part of a flagon, but I like finding things with words on, and this one has enough to research. Or it rather would have if I didn't already know that it's Hollows and Fentimans, who are still in business brewing alcoholic ginger beer. I like melted forms of bottles and jars, but they come with the problem that when they're melted in a dirty environment, the dirt gets stuck in the glass and they become impossible to clean well. So some of these will just go in the recycling or the bin. Not this jar though, or this snap-top bottle with such vibrant colour. I found this glass candy cane looking thing off camera. I have no idea what use it was once put to. Any ideas? This was the only pipe piece I found, which is pretty strange. Perhaps there weren't many smokers around there. Some nice additions to my glass bottle stopper tub. I'll have to figure out some way to display them nicely one day. I do have an idea, but suggestions are welcome. I don't usually pick up jars, but I liked these two enough to bring home. I'll probably use them for my growing marble collection or something. A few nice small bottles, only one with some branding on it. Harleen for the hair, the world-renowned hair producer and restorer. I don't think it would have been very efficacious in curing or slowing baldness. I got about 2 pounds of brass, nothing really unique or worthy of restoration, just under a pound of copper and about half a pound of lead. All the metals are recyclable. And that was everything aside from the plastics that I brought home. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know a lot of you prefer the walks alongside and in the rivers, but I thought it might be worth filming this exploration, and I hope it was. As ever, please give it a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, hit the bell icon to enable notifications, comment, share, donate, buy or ignore. Thank you all very much for watching, and for now, goodbye.